This is the Amp Hour Podcast, recorded January 13th, 2016. Episode 282, 3D Product Logistics.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
I got it in first. I had a
Yeah,
mental
you don't know
block.
how I'm going to edit this. You see, this is where
I
editing
know.
comes in, you know?
I just had a mental block there doing the intro. I guess it's been so long since
Vacation, man.
It's been like
Yeah.
a year, hasn't it, since
Yeah,
I've been on?
since last year at least, right? Well, welcome back. Happy New Year. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, even though it's the middle of January. Yep.
Well, you know, when you take long
Yep.
vacations, that's what happens. But in the meantime, I've had some great shows without you. So,
Dude, I took
know.
a week. I took 1 week's holidays.
a week plus, yeah, you know, you cross that on a recording dates. It just doesn't
Yeah,
work
exactly.
out.
It
so-
just, it
Yeah.
crosses dates. So, yeah.
Yep.
Ah, well.
Yep. Did you hear the deluge of Aussies calling in for the call-in show last time?
No, I didn't. I have not listened to
man, yeah, it was. I mean, they were all great. Everybody's great. We had 4 Aussies and 1 American. So I think what that
septic
means is
tank.
we need.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yank. Thank you. We need to push the recording up for those days somehow. So maybe next time, if it's a non-Dave call-in show, we'll push it up so the Europeans can get in there too. I always feel bad about
right.
that, but yeah, it was good though.
It's
It was
not very often a non-Dave recording show, though.
non-Dave call-in show. Yeah, we've only had 3, and 2/3 of them have been Dave call-in shows. So yeah, you're right. Statistics are on your side.
Excellent. Hope I can do the next one. I'm
Yeah.
on another podcast today.
Oh yeah, which one?
This is the first. So I'll be on the Space Welders podcast.
What is that?
I don't know. I'll find out when I go on. Anyway, it's a,
it's
it's
like
a
that.
bunch of
Okay.
Aussies. Well, I hadn't heard of it. But they talk about space, science, IT, computers, everything, you know. Anyway, they call that. I think it's more of a software-y type thing. Don't quote me on that.
Wow, it sounds like all of the things that you are an expert in.
Right. So anyway, it's called the Space Welders. I don't think it's
Space
about
Welders.
space, but the Space Welders
We'll
podcast.
find out. Yeah, you'll find out.
Yes, I will be on that this afternoon.
Great, awesome.
Well, I don't know when it comes live, but you know.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
Yep.
Good.
Cool.
New podcasts. So do you have to buy a new microphone or anything fancy like that?
No, I think they're even going to accommodate me on to our Mumble server.
Oh,
I've given
fancy.
them. They normally use Skype, and I went, I don't use Skype. It's crap, you know.
Allow me to show you. Yes.
Now have I got a deal for you, Mumble? We've got a Mumble server, and they said,
Which also means
okay.
I can wake up later in the evening and crash your party. Now I know. I have to
Oh,
sign
right.
on and be like,
You could secretly sign on, yeah.
Yank attack!
USA.
All right, I'll show myself out.
Oh, boy. Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
starting to sweat here. My aircon has failed yet
Yeah,
again
well,
on a 41-degree day.
Yeah, that's what is that? That's like pushing 100 F, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
double.
Yeah,
plus 32.
yes,
That's
no,
like,
it's over 105 or
it's
something.
over 100. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's really hot, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing there still?
Well, you know, it's not that bad
Sweating.
in here. This lab gets up to about 27 if I let it, if I shut the door.
Oh, gotcha.
But I didn't want to leave the door open here because I'm quite loud and people will hear me out in the corridor. So, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm sort of, paying the price here for
Hotboxing
the
it
next
today.
hour. Yep. But after that, yeah. And last time it failed, this isn't the first time. Last time, I believe I tweeted a photo of it. Maybe if we can find it. Although searching Twitter sucks. Have you ever tried
It
to
does.
search Twitter?
Yeah.
It's just
Google's
like,
gotten a little better at indexing, but yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway, I
gotta know the
did.
words.
I'm pretty sure I tweeted a photo of the motor start capacitor that failed last time. It actually melted, like all the guts
wow.
oozed out and like, you know. So, but the problem is I've got to go buy a ladder. We're talking about this before, so that I can actually get up in the roof to at least have a look to see if the motor start capacitor's failed
Right.
again. But otherwise,
right.
it needs a service anyway. I might, because I don't get it serviced, which is apparently quite foolish for these industrial, built-in type aircons.
What are you going to do, right?
Yeah,
right.
no, exactly. So, yeah, they've got to make sure the water pressure's set correctly and all that, because it's tied into the built-in water system and, all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. So I might just take the easy road out and call in someone.
Yep,
I know
yep,
that's
yep.
pretty pathetic, but,
I don't know. It's not really yours, though, is it? I mean, like, is it?
Well,
do you own
no,
that piece?
yeah, it's mine. Technically,
Oh, it is?
I own
Okay.
it. Yeah. So, but it is tied into the built-in infrastructure. So,
Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of like a weird convoluted aircon system, apparently. Yes, it's not truly independent. It does rely on the rest of the building.
Oh,
to
right.
do
yeah,
stuff.
it's gonna be
so.
weird too because you do own parts of it, and whatever.
Yep. All right.
So yeah, I was saying to you though, you should just. I was like, oh well, Dave, why don't you just order a ladder on Amazon?
Amazon,
and then you
like
told
it
me,
was just a done thing, right?
yeah, right, of course. Buy a ladder on a book site, right?
Right. And then
I
I said, no, it doesn't work like that. And you just assumed that, what are you talking about? What are you
Yeah.
talking about, Dave? Don't you surely you have Amazon there?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Well, you do, but not like that. You don't have like
No,
the,
we don't
the
have-
non-book stuff.
Yeah, we do not have a warehouse here. Last we checked anyway, we found an article in July. We went and researched
Right,
this
yeah.
extensively before
Of course,
the show.
yeah. One full Google
2
search.
seconds before pressing record. And back in July, no, they were, there was rumor they were looking for warehouse space in Australia, but even if
Right.
they got it, you were saying that it's still not. They've got warehouses in Europe, but it's still not as good as the US system. Amazon.
Yeah, well,
apparently.
it's just, honestly, so what it was all coming down to is just how it changed your habits, right? So that's what
Right.
it comes down to is I'm so used to just searching specifically by things that are available on Prime. And I guarantee some people are nodding their heads right now. They're like, yeah, of course I do that.
So
Because
Google
then-
Prime is for non-Americans. Google Prime
Amazon
is
Prime,
what?
but-
Amazon. So many
Google
bloody
Prime's on the way, yeah.
services. Is the same day service?
No, it's like you pay a flat rate and then you get everything 2 day, but you could pay a smaller upgrade, like $4 or $5 for 1 day shipping then.
Oh, okay, right.
So, but
Right.
like compare that to like a
So
DigiKey.
that's cheap, right? That's
I mean, I
yeah.
buy a resistor on DigiKey. It's $80 shipping because that's how much it actually costs to in an individual.
$80.
Yeah, for an overnight shipping, like 10 a.m. delivery. You never done that?
$80. It costs. It's a flat rate $30 to Australia.
And when does it show up?
Oh well,
Is it-
it comes pretty quickly. 3 or 4 days maybe.
No, it's not too bad. Yeah.
2-3 days. It comes via DHL or FedEx. They have two.
Yeah.
That
actually- no, that's not bad at all. But yeah,
and they're both $30 flat rate to Australia.
Yeah. Well, that's probably how
But-
long. I mean, they probably
yeah.
load it on the truck and then it gets out of there, and but this is like special delivery type.
All right.
If it needs to be there by early, and maybe there's even
Okay.
8 a.m. I don't know, but
Right.
I've definitely paid like $80 before.
Geez,
And,
even in Australia, well, we used to have free same day service.
From in town, though, right?
If you bought from Farnell's, right?
Yeah, if it
Element
was-
14, whatever they bloody well call themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if you ordered before 10 o'clock, they would ship it the same day, and you'd often get it the same day, and it was free.
Yeah. But
that was cool. But
it
they
wasn't getting on an airplane, I bet.
Oh no! It's because there was a warehouse in Sydney. So if you're in Sydney, you got it the same day. It was straight on the truck.
It's a truck. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
And
Yeah,
but
so-
no,
but-
still,
but when you have that, it influences
I
your
do
decisions,
appreciate,
right?
Yes, I appreciate that decision. When I used to work, it was like, I need a part. Oh, quick! It's 9 a.m. Order it, and we'll have it on my desk this
Right.
afternoon. And it changed your ability.
Yeah, it changes
to
your
do
behavior,
things.
of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
especially if it's like if it's kind of hidden from you as well. So I mean, you might have paid a little bit more on a part there, maybe not, I don't know, but like it's free shipping, but nothing's ever free actually, so it's
Right.
just included in the price,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
of course.
fine. But it's hidden,
Right.
and you're like, oh yeah, it's free. Why wouldn't I do this?
Right.
And then it becomes this differentiation point. So yeah, that logistical stuff, it really starts to make a difference, and it's relevant, I think, for us too. You're developing products. I've had thoughts of developing products, and I've shipped stuff for my course and stuff, and it's just
right.
and people listening too, it's like that is the crappy part, like, okay, yeah, you designed a thing, cool. Now, are you gonna get it to people? Like it's like, oh, good luck with that. Because either you're going to pay for it in your time, or you're going to pay someone else to do it, and then you pay out the nose.
Exactly.
Usually. So.
Or it goes horribly wrong, like I've done before, you know?
Yeah,
I tried to ship my micro ruler, so I went to professional shipping company.
Oh, yeah.
Completely screwed it up, right? It was the biggest balls up in history, you know? So I'm doing it myself now. I actually have a new product, which if I had the time today, I would be shooting the crowdfunding video for it. So I am ready, you know.
Thanks a lot, Space Worlders.
Right.
You ruined the timetable. I'm never listening to that podcast now, Dave. Jeez.
Come on. And everything sucks my time away. It's like, I don't have time to do anything. Scratch my bum. No time. You know, it'll have to stay itchy.
Yes.
So I'm ready to go on that. Actually, I could have done it before Christmas, actually. But, you know, meh.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm ready to go on that product. And I've got another product, which I finally got my first real prototype for.
Ooh.
Which is awesome. Yes, you don't know about this. You have not seen the photo. I have to take some photos and send it to you after the... nobody has seen it.
Okay.
Send it to you after the show, if I've got time.
If you've got time, right.
Because I have to go out and buy a ladder to get
unlike the hour we spent chatting before the show. But
right,
yes, if we have time,
right.
yes, of course.
Yeah, I tend to get carried away.
Yeah.
I say I don't have time, and then I get carried away with stuff when I shouldn't. You know,
So
very inefficient.
That happens to us all. To us all.
Anyway, maybe we can talk about efficiencies later, which we were talking about before the show. Anyway, I got the new product, and it's pretty slick.
Is there a circuit board in it? We have to play 20 questions since you're not going to say what it is.
Yes, there is a circuit board in it.
Did you design it?
No, I didn't lay out the board or design the circuit. No,
you spec'd out the product, but
I
you did not.
spec'd out the product, and then
Dave's a product marketer.
And then when they came back, with their first I want these specs. They came back with their first proposal, and it was nothing like what I wanted. Really, it was massive. It was double the price that I wanted. And, you know, it had features that I didn't ask for, you know, and it was just, it was over-engineered. So I had to re-engineer it for them and go, you're going to use this chip. Trust me.
Oh, yeah?
This chip is the go, right?
Yeah, so you were doing the product definition type stuff.
Yeah. So I was down to the chip level, you know, doing stuff. So even though I didn't design the schematic layout of the board, I had a pretty decent hand in it.
Dave's promoted himself. That's what it really is here.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, you've been
I have promoted myself to product architect.
There you go. That's the word.
Yep.
That's the word.
Yeah. So anyway, I got the first and it's silly. I don't know why, but they're so secretive. Even though, you know, we have an NDA and everything else, right? And they're developing the product for me. They're so secretive. Like, we're shipping you something.
The item.
We're shipping you the item, and they'll tell me nothing more except
the bird flies at midnight.
Read the letter that comes with it. It explains everything, you know. And it's like, I have no idea what I'm going to get. You know, it's like I don't know whether they do it deliberately to tease me or what. But it's and I thought, I'm going to get an empty case, or I'm going to get it's not going to switch on, or I had no idea what they were shipping.
This is just an Altoid tins, guys. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's an Altoids tin with a, right. Because I'd actually released to my backers a few days before this. They sent me a 3D printed prototype case. I don't know if you may not have seen the video.
I don't think so. No.
But anyway, it's a gorgeous. We're printed on one of the $100,000 SLA machines, you know.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
it was,
and
it had a mock-up of the circuit board in 3D, and it had, everything, and the cases fitted together, and it had the battery compartment, like the whole shebang. It was in like 5 different parts. Gorgeous, and it fitted together like a glove. And so I had that to play with.
3D print would, Yeah.
So
it's the injection molded one that you have to care about. Come on.
No, but I'm surprised that the 3D printed one fitted so superbly,
No.
And,
That's just a function of how accurate the printer is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because
so that's what you were impressed with. I see.
Yeah, because I'm used to a MakerBot, right? Which nothing fits, right? It's
we
all,
can talk about 3D printers a little later too.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I was impressed by that, and but I had to send it back because apparently it's quite, I don't know, it must be expensive or it's the only one they had, so I had to ship
or
that
they were
back.
secretive about it.
Or they were secretive about it. And I sent, so anyway, I got my new product, and yes, once again, it felt like the real thing. I thought, holy, like the first time I looked at it, wow, they've done the real thing. They've injection molded the case. No, they're still 3D printed cases, but they've painted them to make it look like the real thing. Yep. And at first glance, and the I almost gave the game away, but we
can edit, Dave. I can edit.
And it looked, and it just like I opened the box and I went, wow, that's the finished product, and I was very impressed. But no, it's there's been a few issues with it. Like once again, they've completely goofed on something, a major aspect of the product,
gaffe. Yes.
So I've had to explain it to them exactly how to engineer that. So they've gone away and said, oh yeah, we can do that. It's like okay, So yeah, it's
that makes a big difference. Like having that stuff. Actually, so I was telling you before the show, I actually was granted a patent finally, and I have a design patent now. And while we were getting that stuff made up, they ended up machining that thing out of ABS. So they machined it on like a bunch of CNC machines, glued it together, painted it, and so this thing was like drop proof too.
Right.
And it was like, and we manhandled that prototype. And it was beautiful because it had exact dimensions. It was it probably cost $5,000, but who cares? Because
right now, of course,
basically when you're in a big corporation too, you're trying to like sell ideas up the ladder, and when you show someone a thing that looks done already, I mean that's honestly a risk at that point because they're like, well, it's done. When can we get this? Like,
I know. Let's start selling it. I've been there.
Hold up, guys.
Yeah. This is a prototype. You know how much engineering is required to get this into production?
Right, exactly. No, they had no idea.
Yeah,
they had no idea.
and the other thing is like and they were so secretive, like they wouldn't ship me the schematic and the PCB before they ship me the product. And I'm going, why? I'm asking for the schematic so that I can double check it to make sure they've implemented everything correctly. And as it turns out, they goofed something up. And if they had given me the schematic first as I asked, then I would have picked it up. And it's what was I going to say? Mental block. Yes,
something about
if you're not there, if you're not actually either physically there or driving it, these sort of things can happen.
Right. When Akiba was on, he talked all about that. So 2 shows ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about boots on the ground, especially like in Shenzhen. It's not that you can't get good quality. It's just that that's going to guarantee your quality because you're right there, and you're in the process.
Guarantee that you're more guaranteed to get it right the first time if you've got boots on the ground.
Exactly.
Or you're checking every step. If I had checked that schematic first, then they wouldn't have to have totally respin the board.
Right.
As they will now, and
it's interesting too about the the secretive stuff because I've experienced that at a couple different companies, and it is totally just a culture thing, right? I mean, so one company I was at, we wouldn't even tell like the FAEs, like what we were doing with the circuit. And they're like, they knew we were just following a lot of the app notes. Like a lot of times it's like, we figured, we know what you're doing. And of course they knew what we were doing because we were doing a lot of the same things that was in the app notes and stuff like that. And yet it was just part of the culture. It was like, no, you don't really talk about it. And then other companies, it was, just show everything because you can get stuff done faster. And that was more important. And I personally like the second one better because someone's talking about your product either way, I think. And,
right.
In the second case, it's actually to your benefit then. And so it's reality.
I would love to have blogged this process as I went along with this, because it's been like 6 months up until this point.
Oh, yeah.
I went through several design iterations, and I'd love to, but I can't. It's like it's like secret. The company doesn't want me to release. So I've sort of released things that I can.
Right,
but
of course.
but I can't just release.
Maybe
a video,
the next time. Like that's something you can look for, and the next either go to them and say next time I want it to be public, or find someone new.
Right. Anyway, one of the interesting aspects of my current product that I'm doing is that I'm dealing with I'm dealing through one company, right? So I'm dealing through the company who's technically overseeing it, and they're not designing it, right? They're the company they're the front company who actually I'm dealing with and doing everything, but they part own another company who's actually doing the design and manufacturing.
Where are these companies?
One's in the US and one's in Taiwan.
Gotcha.
So so obviously yes, it's been designed and manufactured in Taiwan by their a company that they part own.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, but they're sort of, driving things from their end. So it's so there's two people driving the ship, and there's me and the US company, and,
Well, that's an interesting thing, too, because of just, like, the difference in cultures. Like that, I'm not sure about Taiwan, but, like, the, that thing that Bunny wrote about the Shenzhen and the, what was it called? The sharing of schematics, all that stuff, the Gankai phone or whatever. Like, that kind of thing, where it's just, like, it's not that big a deal. We all know what you're making. It's like just like, come on, And,
exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Does anyone know if Taiwan is like China in those respects or not? I don't know much about the Taiwanese. Because everything used to, when I was a boy, before you were born, Chris, everything came from Taiwan. Right. First, it was Japan. Right. Yep. Japan made all the good stuff, and then Taiwan was the China of back then. Right. Everything was coming
Korea
out
was
of
in
Taiwan.
there too, I think. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Korea. Oh, sorry. No. Oh, what am I? No, sorry. It's Korean. It's Korean.
The company that you work with?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Well, no, the company is US, but no, their
right. Their manufacturing partner is Korean.
Sorry, it's in Korea, not in. Why am I thinking Taiwan? No, it's in Korea. So
Dave's dealing directly with TSMC. Now we know.
Yeah.
The Dave chip.
Trademark, patent pending.
Yeah, right. I don't want to use that chip, Dave. Sorry.
Sorry. Yes, it's in Korea. So, does anyone? My question still stands. Does anyone know if if Korea is similar, sort of works similar way to Taiwan? Anyway, I was in the middle of a story.
Does anyone know, like, the guy that used to work for a Korean company who you're talking to?
Right. But anyway, I'll finish that little story that before you were born. Yes, Taiwan actually was the China back then. It was where everything
it was open, and there's a lot of new
everything
tech
was
going
made.
there.
It was the manufacturing hub, and then China took over, and then Taiwan sort of now is has a bit of a level rep above. They're sort of leveled up from China. So
the quality's high, and I think it's just gotten more expensive. I mean, it's kind of limited land space as well. So,
and of course, South Korea is always been reasonably high quality. Like good stuff comes out of South Korea. Pretty much
I wouldn't
like
say
Japan.
Always.
No, but
I mean,
they
around the
don't-
same time, like that. Yeah.
They don't have necessarily a bad rep, So
They used to, Mr. Back
Did
to the
they?
Future guy. Japan? Yeah. Japanese transistor radios when those came out?
No, Japanese, no. And then they transitioned into Japanese make the best
of course.
stuff.
This is the same. This is the same path that everyone takes. It's,
exactly.
You start with the low cost stuff, and then the quality keeps. I mean, this is exactly what's happening in China now too. Like the quality.
Yes, exactly. So it happened to Japan, right? I don't know. They went from bad rep to good rep. It happened in Taiwan. They went from low, really low class manufacturing to high class manufacturing. China's going from low class manufacturing to high class manufacturing. And you're saying South Korea did the same thing?
Yeah, I think around the same time.
I don't know.
Japan,
I just
probably.
don't have too much experience with South Korean products. That's all. So, So, everyone goes through that. Who's next? India? South Africa?
Robots. That's who's next.
Bloody robots.
Seriously. That's sorry, man. That's the answer. I don't think, there are other countries, I'm sure, that are hoping for this. I mean, Vietnam's been coming up with a lot of manufacturing, a lot of Eastern Europe as well. There's a lot of great manufacturing in Eastern Europe that's been on the rise. I know NI does a bunch of stuff
Malaysia as well. Yeah. There's stuff in Malaysia. A lot of stuff's coming out of there.
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, and India's trying to do this kind of stuff. I just
India,
don't think
yes,
they don't have the infrastructure for some of it. I mean, they've got some good industry there, but it's just like, I don't think they have.
Yeah, they don't seem to be able to bootstrap it. Like everyone's talking about India will be the next China and stuff like that. They've been saying that for like maybe a decade or something, but they don't seem to be able to get a foothold, do they?
They're just doing it based on that there's just a mass of low
people
income,
there, right? Yes,
right, low income people, and it's like that's a terrible thing to go on because the infrastructure isn't there. As far as I understand it, the infrastructure isn't there, whereas China's been focused on almost nothing else. You know, like they've just been building that out like crazy. And really,
China is the infrastructure capital of the world. You know, like
they just build cities overnight and that kind of stuff. It's nutty, and good for them. That's good.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, but I think robots. is the answer. Robots is the answer. Sorry, that's my terrible.
What was that
Zoidberg.
accent?
That was supposed to be Zoidberg from Futurama. It was terrible.
Oh, sorry.
He says robots.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Speaking of robots, I got a 3D printer.
I saw a photo of that. What is it? Some Joe Blogs brand?
It's actually so my buddy in town, Marty.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's actually he's still an engineer at one of my former companies, and super
he's
bright
still
dude.
an engineer. Like it's a given that he's not going to be one day. It's like.
No, I just mean like this isn't his full-time gig. This is
right.
So. Anyways, it's a RepRap variant, and it's based off the Prusa i3. It's called the Wilson 2. Previously was the Wilson TS, but it's actually a RepRap. So it's it's got the 3D printed components to all of it. It's not off the shelf, so it's actually a kit. It was like $500.
Oh, okay, and you build it.
And actually, sadly, sadly,
what?
I don't know. It's I ended up trading Marty for my mill. So my mill is gone. I am no longer a hobbyist machinist for the time being. Yes. Yep. Yeah, I just didn't. He could use it for his business, and I did not see an immediate need. So.
Okay.
Yep. It's okay. It was a good hobby, and I know more about it now. But it's just I wasn't using it for anything. So.
But you can buy build up 3D printers for $500 or less. Can't you?
Yes,
why
that is totally true. And I was making that decision with that in mind because I wanted to understand all the pieces that went into it, including the build, because I wanted to be able to extend and then build my own later. And I felt like even though I could have done the same thing if I would have just bought one off the shelf, I could have gone and printed another one. I know I wouldn't. Because it's just one of the things where like I know that's something where it's like I plan to learn that someday versus knowing that like this is a thing that I have to do anyways. And so I decided I was going to build one. Plus I know Marty who built it or who designed it and shipped it to me. So I had him as a reference. So.
Oh, by the way, keep an eye on my channel. David too will be bringing in his 3D printer. That was his uni thesis project.
Oh, good.
And with the big bubble, like he got this $1,000 injection molded bubble, which we've showed photos of before. And he really went to town. And this thing is lightning quick, and he goes into it. And so we'll probably be doing a video of him explaining all the physics behind motor whiplash and all that sort of jazz. Hopefully.
Oh, cool!
Because this thing's like he's designed, like he's over-engineered it to be super fast, and he's even he's writing his own algorithms for doing
PID
his own
control.
Own engine and PID control, and his own splicing algorithms and everything. Like it's not just.
Like slicing for the actual slicing of the...
for the 3D modeling, because he's he's into that sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's, it's
so
not like
he's... That's what I'm hearing here.
He's seriously nerdy about this sort of stuff.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
So hopefully that'll be a really good technical video and all the So it's not like he just built, got some motors and some, I-beams and assembled a 3D printer. No, it's, there's a lot of theory. Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot of theory. And he won the university medal or something for his project. So cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Aren't you a proud mentor?
Yes. So hopefully he'll bring that in soon. I have to remind him. But we'll do a video on that.
See, now, okay, so that's like a project, and mine was kind of a project, at least to get mine up and running. And now I'm realizing that I'm like, oh crap, I have to remember how to 3D model stuff. Like, so I've been printing stuff, no
Right.
problem. You know, you can find models like it's
Of course,
nothing.
and then just load them in. Yeah.
But the real reason I got it is for fixturing and for enclosures
Exactly.
and that kind of thing. And it's like, oh, crap.
Crap, I have to
Dimensioning, all that
actually
other
do work to actually. These
Yeah,
3D
right.
models
This
are actually
doesn't
not
happen
easy
naturally.
to create. Yeah. I
Right,
know.
and I'm looking at like, so like even just like some of the crap I have on my desk, you know, like just like little toys and plastic things and stuff like that. You know, like there's anything that has a curve in it automatically becomes a much more like I can do SketchUp
pain
in
in
it.
the
I
ass,
can do it with my
right,
eyes
yeah,
closed,
right.
right? But like anything with curves, I am out of it, you know, and that's
Right.
and that's kind of the interesting stuff. Anyways, if you want to do interesting designs and you know, ergonomic type stuff as well. Because otherwise, if
Yeah.
I was just going to do square boxes, I could have just bought Hammond boxes. I totally understand that. It's not like I'm, you know, breaking any ground there, but
No,
you know, for the
there's
custom stuff.
There's a lot of skill that goes into 3D model creation. You know,
Right, exactly. exactly.
Anything that's remotely complex. You know, it's not something
Yeah.
that you can learn overnight.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm going to go, and that's the other thing is like now it's a question of, well, what do I spend my time learning? Because it's not like I have a overabundance of time either, but so just trying to find programs that can do that kind of stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. Because I can,
Right.
do I go cheap? You know, this basically becomes the same thing that we do with EDA type tools, right? It's just like, I could buy the Altium, which I suppose would be like a
Of course.
Inventor or SolidWorks or something like that. And that would be the smart professional move, but I'm not exactly in a professional capability here.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to become
Yeah.
effectively KiCad proficient without the, you know, KiCad heartburn.
In this case, someone like David too is spoiled, right? Because he comes in, you know, and he brings his laptop and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm using this tool and this tool," and they're all like $10,000 tools. Right?
Oh, and they're school licenses, right?
It's because they're school licenses, right? So he
Yeah,
has a
for
legal,
now.
like, you know, and then, I keep trying to impress upon him that, dude, when you leave university, like, you have to pay for
party's
this
over.
shit. And and he goes, oh yeah, so that's why I'm thinking about just like accepting a part-time, you know, tutoring role or something, so I get access to all these tools.
Right. Grad
you know?
student forever just to get to the software licenses.
Exactly. And he's serious about it, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like a huge advantage. You
Yeah.
know, you get all these tools.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think there are more. The interesting thing is that everybody's moving to this kind of web model. There's Onshape, and even
Right.
like, you know, Autodesk has got their Fusion 360, which I'm considering.
Yeah, don't you? But with the Adobe thing, you get the Adobe Cloud, and you get all the apps.
Yeah,
or
the
something
cloud's
for
not like $100 a
fixed-
month kind of
Right.
thing, or I
Right.
mean, like even in EDA, this is happening, right? Like you said,
Right.
Altium's doing a little bit of that stuff, and we're seeing this other places too. There's the Upverters of the world, stuff like that, where it's you know, there's advanced capabilities, but hopefully they want to try and just keep in a subscription plan, and that's fine. That's a valid model, and you know, it's nice for being able to, you know, turn that on and off as your cash flow comes in. But you know, the overall cost is probably you're going to pay the same over time anyway. So
Right.
it's not like you're going to save money over time.
Yeah. So yeah, I've never really gotten into the 3D CAD side of things. Like, I've done some of it, but I sort of I download like a different tool every time. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's stupid. You know, I've got to actually go, right, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to pay, you know, I'm going to get, you know, advice from people, which is the best tool easiest to use, blah, blah, blah. And just stick by that and stick with it and learn it. And
Yeah, right. Any new tool you definitely have to. But I think there's other things there too, though. Like even just concepts with the mechanical stuff. Like thinking about how certain things are made. There's like, you know, you rotate a shape around an axis, and it becomes like you rotate a rectangle around an axis, and it becomes a cylinder, right? Like that kind of like
right.
thinking of those kind of like mind scripts almost. You know, like they're like, how can I create this shape, and then you start to piece that stuff together.
Right.
So I'll probably end up.
I've got like one CAD package that I tend to go, but it's not really a CAD. It's like one of these online CAD packages. You download it. It's the eMachine Shop software. So
I've never heard of that.
eMachine Shop. They're like an online thing where you can just submit your thing and they'll make it for you. They'll machine it out, right? But
interesting.
But they've written their own software. And it's like, seriously, I've downloaded like a dozen different CAD programs, and that's the one that seems the most intuitive for the way I think, you know, for my archaic, schematic
right.
background thinking, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
sketching 2D,
yeah,
just
like
make this
2D,
a little taller.
Exactly. Drag this taller, and it works the way I think. Machine Shop. I've tried others, and they just.
Yeah, that's how SketchUp is for me.
Right,
SketchUp is the only thing that
painful.
I've been able to.
I've tried SketchUp, and I didn't find it as easy as you did, apparently.
No,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
That's actually what the patent I got. It was part of a design patent, so it was.
Oh, okay.
I helped the design with the 3D printing stuff.
Oh,
or the 3D modeling.
there you go.
In
There you
SketchUp. Yes, there's a useful skill. I don't know. I think I'll probably end up doing something like so. There's person, Adam, who does. It's called CAD Junkie, and it's basically a program that I've kind of modeled contextual electronics on, but it's for like learning, project-based learning around building 3D stuff. And great video course. They're the ones. Cool. Adam and Josh used to do the engineer versus designer. That's no longer around, sadly.
Oh, okay.
But,
yes, we talked about that years ago. Yep.
Remember them. So I'll probably do something like that, just to stick with my brethren, of course.
Which platform do they use to distribute their videos and sell them?
They use Vimeo. Is that what you mean?
Oh, Vimeo. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
So you just buy a monthly subscription, do you, and you get access to all their videos? Is that how it works?
No. Now it's you just buy a chunk of videos, basically. So you buy
a package.
There's like a 101 course, and you design. There was like
Yep.
a plasticized keypad, basically. That was like one of the courses I saw. But then there's different. They also do like Rhino and all of the different CAD packages that I don't even know any of them. So
I think weren't we talking about this maybe pre-show before Christmas or something like that? You've come to the realization, as I have, that probably paid online courses are not the future. Did you?
Was that me?
Yeah.
I got to rethink things, man.
I thought you realized that ultimately it's probably a losing bet.
Did I say that? Are you sure that was me?
I'm sure it was you.
Give me some more background here, because maybe I'll agree with you eventually. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you are, because you were going to release all your videos for free, weren't you? Or something? You were going to release them all. Contextual electronics. No? No? You're still
I
going
was
strong?
talking about doing some of them, not all of them. But,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
we were talking about just like the value of, putting content out there too.
Yeah.
But, I don't really want to try and get advertisers like you as well, so.
All right. No, I could have sworn we talked about that because, I've been thinking about it for years, that I would shoot, a reasonably high quality course, like a Electronics 101 or whatever, or, how to design a PCB or something, some sort of like short course, and then actually sell that as a package of videos, pre-done videos. And if you want it, you buy you pay your, I don't know, $20 or $50 or something and buy, the 10 or 20 videos, and
I think, I think you're right about certain things here. So the things that we probably talked about were like selling the same thing forever is basically like the music business, right? So it's like, it loses value because there's not dynamic stuff to it. And, and eventually it just, if you're the Beatles, it's fine. But if you're just some band on the street, then you just become part of the noise because the whole market gets flooded.
Yeah. There's so much content out there. Yeah.
Right.
There's so much free content, and you're trying to compete with paid content.
And I think people will pay for quality as well, but over time, it's just the amount of stuff that's out there.
It'd be an interesting experiment. Like even with I've got the biggest engineering audience in the world, right? I'm the biggest channel, so I've got the biggest, market for something like potential ready market for something like that. But I think it'd be like I'd be surprised if 1% bought it. It's like
it'd be priced and everything too.
Yeah, it'd be down in the, the 0.05% category or something.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that's just how the internet works too. It's just the 1% of 1%.
We were talking about on a previous show where they've done studies that even if you pay a cent or 5 cents or something, make something available for 5 cents or $1, the number of people instantly drops by like 95%. Or something.
Right, that's in that book that you've been reading too, the Chris Anderson's book, Free. Right, he talks about it.
Oh, Free, which I haven't finished yet. Yes, that's right.
$0 and 1 cent is the big hurdle. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, that's interesting. And so a little bit of topical news. There was actually an interesting article from 12 years ago, I think it was, maybe 13 years ago.
Was there an internet back then?
There was the internet, and it was David Bowie talking about the end of music. And so obviously David Bowie just passed away.
He did.
And David Jones, right?
Yeah, David Jones, yes,
David
is his
Jones
real name
away.
for those who don't know. Yes,
right.
But he changed it when the Monkees became popular,
Right.
and
That's
you
right.
know, yeah.
And so there was a New York Times article though, and it was about basically he's like, yeah, you know, so in 2003, before iTunes came out, he started his own digital label. He talked about
Really?
how he's, you know, he sees the
Okay.
end of music like that, and basically he's like, yeah, you know, the only way you're gonna make money is by touring and doing other stuff.
Well, he was
And he's
100% right.
And-
He was
yeah.
100% right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he saw it that far out in advance, and that's the way it's completely gone. So, so I think if we put that same analogy there, it's true. I think there's a little bit of difference just because this is, you know, even in Anderson's book, he talks about like the super narrow content, like just electronics or just 3D modeling, that kind of stuff. It's a little different than broad content, but even still, there's just so many people jumping in the market too that eventually I think you're right. It'll probably move towards that kind of model, or it'll have to be
I'll
very
be making my
specialized.
money through touring, huh? Making guest appearances. Come and see
Dave on
Dave in
tour.
concert.
That's right, David Jones, not
Tear down live.
not Bowie.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even MythBusters, they do a tour now. So
Yeah,
Adam and
I
Jamie.
know. Oh, I'm pissed that I missed that. I hope
Yeah.
they come back to Australia.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Because
Yeah.
apparently it's a really fun show.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Just,
But
totally
that's,
bummed. Yep.
That is how, and that's
Yeah.
why comedians around the world are doing well as well. It's not because they're making money on even Netflix specials. It's all about
And
just selling tickets
DVDs
for the tour.
and things like that. Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So it's a strange world we're living in here, buddy.
No.
Yeah.
Some of those comedians actually get pissed off by, you know, people film their things, film their shows, and then they upload it to YouTube. And some of them actually get quite pissed off because, you know, they're trying to survive on like DVD sales and stuff like that. It's like that's a losing proposition right there.
No, but
you
the
know?
reason they really get pissed is because they're trying to work out material too. Like they're trying to get the best stuff on camera at the end.
Yes, exactly.
So
That's the other aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be like someone coming into your office on a Tuesday and being like, "All right, Dave, I'm just gonna watch you. I'm just gonna film you, you know, work through a problem set."
Exactly.
You
Do
know?
a really shit, and it ends up being a shit video that they, you know, doesn't present them in the best light.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the closer thing. But yeah. So yep.
Watch out for Dave's 2016 tour.
Tour. Yeah. Well, we had talked about, you know, maybe it's still gonna happen. You can come over here. The Winnebago.
You were talking about this.
Chris, Dave and Chris hit the road. The amp hour. The amp hour on wheels.
Although you are trying to get to Australia.
Yeah, sometime in
You are
2016,
trying to get
hopefully.
here?
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
And we were talking about life goals before the thing, weren't we?
We were, yeah. Just trying
How
to.
you actually had a list. You pulled up a secret online list that you had
Yeah.
from a few years back of life goals, and you'd already ticked off
Yeah, a couple
like
of them.
most of them.
Yeah.
Or they were so trivial to tick off these days that, you know, they're practically ticked off.
What do you mean?
So, well, like one of your ones was like a online. What was it?
Start a business?
Yeah, which you kind of sort of done, and another one was have a home with a recording studio.
Oh, with a recording
done.
studio. Yeah, that
know.
one's a little trivial because it's like, yeah, just the cost of recording studios has dropped, and you know it doesn't take much more than
exactly
a mixer
Yeah.
board and an input to a computer. So yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. So.
Yeah, sure. But the patent was on there, so that's the reason
Yeah.
I've mentioned that 3 times now. Otherwise, I wouldn't
Right,
have.
yes, you're quite chuffed that you've got a patent.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. And you were saying that you don't know what your life goals are.
I was saying that I've never really had life goals to tick off. Yeah,
You may soon. We'll see. Yes.
Maybe, you know. Although I did, you know, I did manage to remember that I have actually kind of sort of ticked off was that to fly my own plane. You know,
That's true. Yep.
I wanted to fly. You know, and I did that one day. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. I just woke up one day and I went, I'm going to fly a plane today. So I went down to an airport and I hired a plane with a co-pilot, of course, you know. And, I went
Which we
and flew
know.
Yeah.
Because you're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive barely because
Right.
there are things that
Right.
happened on the flight where yeah. Anyway, barely alive, and tick almost, because to level up, as I was saying before the show, to level up to where I get to the level where I'm capable of actually flying my own plane. Right, that requires
the scale, right? The
1,000 hours of
right.
or whatever, right? 100 hours of and tens of thousands.
Closer. Yeah, I think it's a lot.
Right.
A lot.
No, I think within 100 hours or something. Apparently, it's easier by helicopter. Apparently, a lot of people go, "Oh, I want to fly," but apparently, there's less hours to learn how to fly a helicopter than a plane before you're allowed to go solo or something. I don't know.
Nope.
Nope.
Won't be doing that one either.
Right. Anyway, so I wimped out on the level. It was just too hard, I'm like, no, I'm not going to commit to that. Oh, yeah, like it's a couple of years and it's very costly and you got to put the hours in and, so to level up. But it was kind of sort of a tick, like at least I got off my ass and, went and hired the plane and did it, kind of thing. So I'm fairly happy with that partial tick.
I think that, usually it's just the beginning, end of the year, beginning of the year, you kind of start to reevaluate. Obviously, it's totally arbitrary. Thank you, Caesar. And, it's just like, or whoever. And it's just, you start to consider these things. And that's why I was looking at it. And maybe you'll come up with something. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I was saying that, you were pressing me. Come on, think of something. I was thinking that if I was to come up with something, it's most likely to be business related or brand related, like EEV blog, like, get off my ass and actually get a bigger place, get more employees, get more efficient in doing things, be more professional, like expand it somehow, it'd probably have something to do with that rather than, I want to abseil into a volcano in, somewhere, right? Like...
I think we can crowdsource this, man. What should Dave do for life goal? What should Dave's life goal be? I think we should just ask the audience.
Why not?
And then whatever it is in the comment section, Dave will try
comment section down below.
Tick the box,
I'll actually read the comment section for once. Sorry, I don't visit the amphour.com much.
That's okay.
I'm, bit of a slack ass.
You're on a forum a lot. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I've got my own forum where,
right,
I waste my life on there. Or you can leave the comments on the forum because we have an Amp Hour section on the forum, which, So, yes, please, if you do, because, I've got a lot of fans who I'm sure know me quite well, or at least they think they do. Come on. What should I have my life goal? Should I actually get off on my ass and travel and actually meet Chris? And should that be a life goal? Meeting Chris, jeez,
life goal. At least a 5-year goal, you a-hole.
Well, I don't see you making any effort to come
not
here
there either.
That's
right. Hey, I said maybe this year. I didn't hear anything.
Dude.
I didn't hear anything about you saying maybe I'll come there at some point. You've said expressly the opposite because of blah blah blah, wife and 2 kids, blah blah blah,
and my distaste for air travel these days.
Right, of course,
yeah,
of course. Yeah. I'm looking forward to sitting on a plane for 20 hours as well.
It would be 20 from Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 22.
So I don't know if so you say you don't check the Amp Hour. Do you check other sites? Just check other podcasts or anything like that?
No, I'm on the other occasional forum here and there because I'm a bit of a forum nerd. But no, generally I sort of,
So I was listening.
Eat my own dog food, as they say. Yep, I'm on the EV blog forum and YouTube comments and and the blog website. Yep.
Right. I was listening to Embedded FM. They had someone on Michael talking about First. Do you guys have First down there or no? You probably do, right?
Oh yes, we have First Robotics. Before we get into that, can I finish the last thing? Sorry, sure. We'll get back to First Robotics. I guarantee it. Mm-hmm. I was saying this before the show that I was actually ready. I was ready to sort of take that big step and actually rent a bigger place and do that. And there was this place very close that I really wanted, and it's been vacant for like 9 months. But I've been scratching my ass. On it, and I'm in an R in, and I finally decided, right, I'm going to rent that place. I'm going to move out of here, rent this place, and rent out this place, and rent the other place, and move in. And sure enough, after 9 months of sitting there completely vacant, I call up the real estate guy and he says, sorry, the lease was just signed like a day or two ago. And it's like, oh.
Happens every time, man.
Yep, every time. You got to make your move,
It's funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's, and I might not get another place I like for another 6 or 9 months or 12 months, so I might be stuck here in quote marks,
Yeah,
so,
stuck in paradise. It'll be tough.
Yeah. Because it's not easy to move, it's a huge decision. It's a huge, big upheaval. It's, and to sort of expand to get more employees and more space to do stuff, including packing and shipping, which I'm going to be getting into very shortly with my new products. I'm struggling with my spot here. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
don't
wait, people. Do it.
Yes.
Don't
Seize
be
the
like
day.
Dave.
Carpe diem.
Yes. Now, First Robotics. You're going to talk about the video, aren't you? With Dean Kamen.
Did you watch it all or no?
I watched it, and
it was so campy and silly, but I loved it still.
I know, it was just silly. I almost couldn't continue to watch it. It was just so... Who were the other guys in it? I didn't. I'm going to be.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm guessing they helped start first. I know Dean kind of kicked it off, but I'm guessing he didn't.
Dean Kamen, I knew. Yeah, he helped.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that was he's more of a figurehead type because he's running the companies and stuff.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I'm guessing the other guys are just
Yeah.
Helped start it. I didn't really look. Sorry.
No,
So-
sorry, other people. I'm sure you're
Woody, I think, was
famous
funny.
in your own.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I didn't, so I listened. Obviously, I listened to that episode. I know people have done first. I mean, my buddy did first like 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, it's like more than 20 years old now, which is crazy. And it's just like this whole other world, like, that's the thing. And I never
it's
really
huge. Yeah.
stepped into it. So
No,
I'm trying to at least...
I helped judge part of it because Altium was a sponsor for First Robotics
Oh,
here.
that's
So
good.
when
Yeah,
I was at
right.
Altium, I was involved in that. Yep.
Right. And they list out all the sponsors too on this video, and it's just like, woof, my God. It's just like, I mean, it's good. It's like all these schools want to get in on it, all these companies, they want to, basically this is talent. This is talent pruning, like, not pruning.
No, totally.
Recruiting, I
well,
guess.
yes. No,
And,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So anyways, the video this year, they did a spoof on Monty Python without any of the...
Right.
Well, they were going through the motion, some of it, but actually it was pretty fun. I mean, like, it was good that they tried it. And the reason I really like it is because it's like, oh, so like at least 30,000 more kids will probably watch Monty Python now, if they haven't watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, but they may not because they may not get the reference. Well, they definitely
come
won't.
on. If someone is listening and you are a first volunteer or even anywhere near there, ask every kid if they understand the intro video, and if not, duct tape them to a chair until they watch the movie.
You have to educate them. Yes,
Yeah,
you've got to
exactly.
educate them. They're not going to instantly watch it and go,
Right.
"Oh, okay, I'm going to." No, it wasn't. I don't think it's even linked in. It should say
I'm sure they
this is
couldn't
a
get the rights.
spoof of Monty
Yeah, right.
Python. Go,
Right, right.
go watch it, kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but just looking at all of it, I mean, just the rules, like all of the rules of the competition are really interesting and how it all works. And like I said, when Mike was on Embedded, that was a really good episode. Just kind of hearing about how all that stuff works, and it's a whole other culture. So,
Yep.
good stuff. I like it.
all right. Can we finish the show with all sorts of news and other things?
Yeah,
Topical
sure.
Stuff. Yeah.
Any preferences?
Well, I'll just in no particular order, but we will put first because Fran has been on the show before. She's got a Kickstarter
yes.
for her new Frantone Peach Fuzz pedal.
That's right. Yeah,
And,
I think it hit its goal, but
it did hit
still
its
going.
goal. It's currently $6,000 of a $5,000 goal. So if you're into if you're a muso and you like these, I don't know, they're used for guitar. Well, I watched a video of her playing, some cool riff, with the Peach Fuzz, and it was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's quite interesting, and just like how it, it's a lot of clipping off of, basically you're amplifying signals, clipping signals, that kind of thing.
But it's more than that because she apparently came up with her own.
Oh,
Did she
yeah,
mention it on the show? She came up with her own architecture. She spent years on that to come up with the architecture, the circuit architecture, to give the tone that the Peach Fuzz is actually known for.
Yeah, and it sounds amazing. If you listen to some of the demos that are on there, it's just really cool.
And it's fairly simple. Like, it's a board with some op amps and, like that. There's not a huge amount in there, but it's, There's actually a
It's
lot
engineered.
of research.
Yeah,
there's
there's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, she's met her goal. But if you want one, definitely check out the
A
Kickstarter.
couple days left, I think, right? Yeah.
Help out Fran. Yeah, 5 days left.
Cool.
So there's that. There's what do we got? There's speaking of crowdfunding, the Europe's biggest crowdfunding campaign, the Xeno. Is that how you pronounce it? The Xeno Nano Drone. It's one of those little micro drone things. It crashed and burned.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
£2.3 million, and it was the Kickstarter, and it's and it went down the toilet.
Man.
The company filed for bankruptcy,
And Indiegogo goes wild. It wasn't us.
No, but the interesting thing about this, right, is that Kickstarter have actually hired a reporter, like an investigative journalist, to actually research what went wrong.
Huh.
That's the fascinating part of this. So
I mean, you kind of have to at a certain point. That's a big number, man.
It is Europe's biggest Kickstarter project, and it folded. Nobody got anything, So yeah, Kickstarter, for Kickstarter to spend $50,000 or something, hiring an investigative journalist to figure out what happened is nothing. Right?
To quote Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
If you steal $600, they might not come looking for you. If you steal $600 million, they will find you.
Yes.
Life goal achieved right there. I just could take another one off the list. I just quoted Die Hard on a podcast.
Awesome. Well done.
Oh God, that was lame.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but no, seriously, it's just when you get this kind of numbers.
A fake German accent too.
I couldn't have if I tried. Yeah. Come on.
All right, no.
You can't beat whatever his name is, Snape. Alan, whatever.
Alan Rickman. Yeah.
Rickman, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dear. Anyway, yeah. So that's the interesting part of this. Not that it failed, big deal. They fail all the time. Whoop-de-doo, because they, it's been going for a long time, and they just they couldn't meet it. They couldn't deliver or whatever. They went bankrupt or whatever, and that happens all the time.
Yep.
Because people get these monies, even professional companies get the money from the Kickstarter and go, either it's not enough, as we've talked about, to meet their goals, or it's too much and they go wild and then don't deliver and then they just implode. And,
right, or it's too big, it's bigger than they thought and they couldn't quite deliver on time, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, etc. There's a million things that can go wrong. So, yep. But I think that's fascinating. And in other news, sounds just coming out today, it looks like, which I predicted.
I saw you.
I predicted in 2013 that, yes, Microchip, and it looks like Microchip are the front runner to buy Atmel now. And because the Atmel board have come out and said, yes, we prefer Microchip over the Dialogue bid. So we prefer Microchip's bid over Dialogue's bid. In other words, we don't want to get bought by Dialogue. We'd prefer to get bought by Microchip. They will butt hurt us less. Maybe.
I doubt that. Changes are coming, folks. I don't want to say, I don't speak ill of any of the individual companies, but it's like, come on, synergies. Yeah, okay.
But that's going to be interesting. These two were the two arch rivals in the at least in our little narrow, hacker maker hobbyist world, right? Low end world, right? Not in the automotive world where your Renesas and all those dominate, right? But in our sphere of world, then they're the two biggies, that were fighting tooth and nail for, a decade to. And now it looks like, it's not the first time Microchip it's not the first time Microchip have tried to buy Atmel, but that was a hostile takeover, and Atmel fiercely resisted it, and they won. So yes, this one is not hostile.
So let's just talk about it real quick, though.
Sure.
The PR Newswire article is Microchip Technology announces its proposal to acquire Atmel has been deemed, quote, a superior proposal by Atmel's board of directors.
I love that terminology.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. their board of directors don't give a crap about you. They're caring about it's just the money.
Oh, of course.
That's,
of course. Yeah,
that's what it is. And it's like nothing against like anyone that works there. Do not get mad at them. It's
it's the money and their future at the company, so to speak.
Maybe. I don't even think. I think it's just got to be money. Come on, man.
Right.
I don't think.
Well, actually, it has to be. Because
what
they have,
otherwise.
As a publicly listed company, they have a fiduciary responsibility. That's the technical term.
You love that term. You love that term.
I do love that term. Right?
I hate it.
I know it's shit, right? But that's they actually the sole goal of a publicly listed company is to make money for its shareholders. Nothing else matters. Legally, nothing else matters. Right? And they can actually be sued or go to jail if they don't do that. Right? If they don't,
I have no idea. I don't claim to know. So
right, it's their sole responsibility of the board of directors. Of the
I
public
misspoke
company.
here. I'm looking at the Atmel board of directors here. I misspoke a little bit because I see a lot of engineering degrees,
cool.
some law degrees, some CEOs. That's fine.
So they might actually give a toss.
I'm not saying they're boots on the ground kind of thing, but okay. Former president of TSMC, the guy at least understands the chip company, but the chip business, but that might be a bad thing as well.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't.
Anyway,
I don't think that they're not thinking about your project. If you're developing with one thing,
no. Of course they don't.
They don't.
No, they have to. Their job is to get the best
money.
Buy the best, the biggest amount of money, the best terms for the company, for the shareholders.
Yeah.
And if Atmel and if Microchip are offering $7.50 or whatever a share, or $8.15 a share, and Dialogue's offering $7 or something, then
yeah,
you're gonna go off the bigger one.
Well, we'll see how that all shakes out. That'll be ongoing, I'm sure, for a long time. So.
But not only do they have a fiduciary responsibility, they also have a responsibility to ensure the viability of the business as a going concern.
Sure, because if one killed the other part of the business, it's like,
why
even buy at that point?
So if Microchip were buying them just to get rid of competition and then they sack everyone and just suck it dry, and I'm not saying they're going to do that, but let's say that they did that.
Yeah, of course.
Then, that might be, that's a bad choice for the shareholders, right? So, so they've got to weigh up that sort of, the intentions of the company as well. So
due diligence and all that BS.
But it looks like it's going to happen. One way or the other. I would prefer that they get bought by Microchip just from a pure popcorn interest of what's going to happen. Dialogue. Who cares about dialogue, right?
Yeah.
That's just nothing. There's no excitement. It gives us nothing to talk about on the show.
We are going for mass carnage on the Amp Hour.
Right, yeah, exactly. They've just discontinued all
another one. My God, I can't believe they did this.
All AVR chips.
It's like watching wrestling. It doesn't really affect you directly. You're just there to see the chair going over the person's head.
It's pure entertainment. It's sports entertainment. This is tech entertainment.
Oh, boy. I laugh at that idea, but I gotta say I'm not a huge fan. Yeah.
So you would prefer they get bought by Dialogue?
I mean, I'd prefer there'd be less consolidation in general, but
right. Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I just want to see competition, and I think if you got two people that are already competing and one buys the other, it's like, eh.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, no, I just want it from an entertainment point of view.
Yeah.
It's just like I want Donald Trump to be president, just purely from an entertainment point of view.
Don't even start. Don't even start.
Come on.
Don't even start.
I just think it'd be hilarious. That's my sole reason,
We can start talking politics in December of 2017. December of 2016, rather.
Right.
When it's all over. That's until that point.
Yep.
No.
All right, cool.
No.
Okay, well,
what else did we have on the list?
We had our Tony Abbott, so I think you guys have to...
Yeah, we had someone before that.
Yeah, I know.
But like I said, December. Let's go with December.
Right, okay. Cool.
Nice Christmas present. What else do we have on here?
What is it with your bloody...
Oh, come on, Dave, please.
What? It's like a year away. And a year.
I don't want to talk about it.
Imminent or something.
No one wants to hear about it, too. That's the other thing. It's just me right now, but you got, thousands of people groaning.
Listeners, groaning. All right, I'll drop it.
I want to talk about real quick because there was a couple interesting announcements from CES, specifically the BeagleBone Blue. I don't know if you saw that.
I have not heard of the BeagleBone Blue. This is news to me. But there's new dev boards coming out everyone's backsides. I mean, I'm almost sick of them. There's just so many of them.
There's a lot of fragmentation, of course. We've known this for a long time, and it's like this. It's going to keep happening.
You remember when we started 5 years ago, or has it been 6?
5 years ago,
I don't know. At least 5, right? Like it was big news when a board like this came out, and now it's like, oh, geez, there's one. There's a dozen every month. It's just not even worth mentioning as news.
But that's kind of what I'm getting at too. Is like, okay, so now these things are everywhere, right? Obviously, there's integrators that want you to buy these dev boards. So this actually isn't even done, I don't think, by. So it's like sanctioned by the BeagleBoard.org, the group, but it's not made by the same people. It's not Circuit Co. It's not. So Seed makes the green. Circuit Co makes the black, and
God, it sounds like the Arduino.
I was gonna say it sounds like Johnny Walker at this point.
What happened to that? I never followed up on the Arduino.
I think it's still going. So we'll see that when it shakes out. Yeah, right. I know Benchoff was writing about it on Hackaday a bunch. So
is he? Okay.
Yeah, he always he loves seeing that stuff.
It's his pet. It's his pet thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, man, that guy, let me tell you, because I know the Hackaday people now, Brian comes up to me. This is just a small side story. He comes up to me at the Super Conference with this shit-eating grin on his face. and he's like, I've got something, and I'm going to get you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he just keeps doing this over and over and over throughout the day. He's like,
this is good.
You have anything really embarrassing from your past? And I'm like,
great.
And I'm like, Jesus, what did he find? Oh, no. I was in a fraternity. Come on, like I have embarrassing pictures that were photo doctored. And I'm just like, I'm Googling myself, and I'm worried.
It involves you and a sheep, Chris Gamble plus sheep.
Right. And then finally, I'm like, Brian, you got to tell me, this is killing me. And he unzips his hoodie. And he's wearing the T-shirt of my band from college, which is this really goofy-looking thing. Another person at the conference had brought him his T-shirt. And I'm like, oh, thank God, that's all it is. But yes,
great.
He was fun to deal with. He's a good guy.
Cool.
Anyways, back to this thing. So these boards are everywhere. There's every color under the rainbow now. There's the black, there's the white, the green, and red and blue and whatever. So the blue is the new one. And then also there's all these other things. There's that $9 chip. There's the $5 Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. And what I started thinking about is, well, we've talked about this before on the show a little bit, but like, I think more and more we're going to see people that are like, oh, $5 Raspberry Pi Zero. I should just design that into my product.
Right.
Yeah. And it should be like, danger. Because I think personally it's a terrible idea for a product. And maybe not for the early products, but eventually, you have to plan for that other stuff. And so the question I came up with is just like, what are the benefits of using smaller discrete micros versus designing these things in? Because I think we're going to see this more and more and more, especially I think the Pi Zero, especially because it's got such a big audience around it. Mm-hmm. So, David,
I agree.
What are some of the benefits that why shouldn't someone just use a Raspberry Pi Zero?
Well, one is the form factor. You've got to somehow integrate to it, right? So, you might buy your $5 bloody Raspberry Pi or whatever it is, but then you've got to, you have to have additional circuitry. So then you've got to piss away your extra money on all the connectors and everything to plug all your boards into it, and you end up with some convoluted, weird-ass form factor. Right?
That's a good point.
That's not easy to mount into your product. It's not integrated. It's like, it's
not
great
the tool for the job. That's what you're saying.
No, it's not the tool for
it's the tool.
Catchphrase. It's the tool for horses for courses, right? It's the tool for a run of 100, right? A run of 100 because you want to control some jigs in production, right? Yeah, fine. Don't go to the effort to design your own board. That's dumb. Just use the Raspberry Pi and a hat or whatever it's bloody called to go on top, right?
Yeah, right.
And you're fine. But no, not for a commercial product, there can be, yes, there can be viable cases where that's, where it's actually going to be viable, but
right, if you're designing
no.
something where people can buy it separately maybe and just plug it in, or if it's likely to blow up and you need replacements, sure, yeah, I can see that. Maybe you should make your product not blow up as well, but, whatever. It's up to you.
Right. No, if you're designing a professional product, fine. If your architecture's based around the Raspberry Pi, then copy the circuit and get the processor that's on there and...
sign the NDAs and
right?
pay a lot more.
And put that
I think
into
the other thing too is that like a lot of these platforms now they're not holding the price down. They have the pricing power, right? So another one is isn't. So I know Ryan from the Critical, which is the Snickerdoodle, and so he gave a talk last time I was in San Francisco, and that's a sweet little board. I mean, it's got a Zinc on there, and it's like $55, and they've got it all priced out for that thing. You can't buy a Zinc for less than $70 on a single chip basis, right? So
really?
There,
okay, right.
Yeah, so like there, it's the I think the in that case that's a pretty significant
that's a
driver
big
to
deal.
do that kind of thing.
Right.
However, then my big thing here in all of these is supply, right? It's like you can't, and we saw this with the BeagleBone Black when I think it was Ninja Blocks
they were really even the Arduinos were. You couldn't get stock or
when
whatever.
The shortages happened. It was like 2-3 years ago. There's a bunch of shortages, and I remember BeagleBone Black was there was like I think Octopart had like an index just for the BeagleBone Black because people couldn't find them anywhere. And it was just really hard to get to, and people started designing them in products, and
and
that same
they'll
kind of
buy
thing happened.
ones and twosies from this store, and ones and twosies of
exactly.
stock left over in this store, and it's And that's the other thing. I mean, who has, if you're going to make 10,000, so who has a stock of 10,000 of these, right? Nobody, right?
Yeah, right.
Can you buy directly from them? I don't think they do. I don't think you can. Maybe if you're
that's the thing.
ordering 10,000, maybe.
You'd have to set up a, either
You'd have to
a separate
become
line or
almost a distributor or something to actually get that sort of volume. You'd have to,
and then you're still dependent on all. Yeah, and I guess that's another thing to think about. So you look at something. So maybe a Pi Zero isn't a great example here because it's pretty constrained in terms of number of devices on board. It's getting down to almost just being that Broadcom chip.
Yeah.
But like a BeagleBone Black, like the version B or whatever it is, the full version. It's got, it's got a bunch of chips on it. It's got like, there's some significant silicon on there, and then all the passives, and that has to be all right. It's probably a 200 line item bomb. I've looked at it once or twice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's up there.
Serious, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pro device, and each one of those represents a little bit of risk. Like it's not like you can't replace it, but it's also possible it'll be a little bit different, and they have to, just all of the hassle and any delay that goes into it. It's just the usual stuff with board assembly that each one represents a little bit of risk. And so and then that just could delay you, and then you're behind, and so it's just this long chain you have to kind of deal with, and anything in that could stop you up pretty easily. So
yeah, I can see your point there, because if you've got your product with a 100 line item bomb, and like if a part you can't get it, well, maybe you can get a substitute. If you designed, did your proper engineering right, you would have substitutes for everything, right? So you could possibly get around that. But if you're relying on that Pi Zero, which is then in turn relying on 200 other parts or whatever, or the BeagleBone Black or Blue or whatever, is relying on 200 other parts.
Yep.
That's a big bottleneck in the chain, potential bottleneck, and you're going to come a gutser eventually. Murphy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I think the last thing I would think of is just, like, I've already given examples where it wouldn't be the case, but price. I mean, like, at least in theory, if you're using enough that you are buying a significant amount of boards from someone, and you want it in the form factor you should probably be doing it, because you can probably get at least similar pricing, but you might have to go and talk to the vendor directly, like you said, talk to Broadcom or talk to TI or whoever, and then maybe you can use the same software stacks, but you're gonna get that price advantage probably just from being a bigger part of it, and you can always go. That's when you have to start negotiating, honestly, and because that's what a lot of these dev boards do too. They're just like, we're going to sell.
Oh yeah, no, that's
10,
what they're all about. Yeah,
that's where a lot of margin comes from. It's just the getting better pricing on volume and then passing that on and taking the difference yourself. So it's So you can get it. It's just, I don't know. I just think I see these things, and I've already seen a couple of projects, and they're fun projects, but it looks like they're like, no, here's a product. And it's like, careful. don't do it. It's just, it's tempting, and especially like I said, with that Snickerdoodle board, especially like that one, especially where it's like that price looks like a price advantage as well. It probably would be, especially for low volume, but as soon as you get, any kind of growing pain where you're like, oh, I just sold 100 products. So.
Oh, it's tough.
It is.
Why are we in this game? It's such a tough game, electronics.
Well, we're not really in it. Let's be honest, Dave.
No, we're not.
We are conscientious objectors.
Yeah, right. Yeah, gone are the days when I had to deal with that stuff, and that was,
I think that should be one of your goals. You should put yourself back into it willingly, because you're designing something you believe in so heavily.
Right.
You're ready to deal with all the BS.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I can hire people to deal with the BS, right? I'll be the product architect.
You can be the product architect and then the documentarian.
Right. Yep. That's where my future lies.
You know what else you should put on your life goal list?
What's that?
Get a personal drone car.
Personal drone car?
Number 13 on our list, EHang 184. It's effectively a rideable quadcopter with a crappy plastic
chair on lawn chair on the stuck on the top.
It just scares the crap out of me. I cannot imagine getting in one of these things ever.
I know. It's like, yep. It's so scary.
Oh, you know what I should do? I should surround myself with really high-powered... I should sit on top of some lithium-ion batteries and then surround myself with high-speed rotors and then, have no kind of safety precautions like they have in the FAA.
Right.
And then sit in a plastic vacuum-formed cockpit and then go up about 500 feet. Why not? Yeah, it'll be safe.
Or you can just get a lawn chair and tie helium balloons to it. And
Holy crap! I didn't even see this. It says supposedly costing between 130 and 200,000 pounds. A price tag which includes air conditioning and in-flight Wi-Fi. Are you freaking kidding me? You're gonna be flying a car and then you're gonna be on your tablet?
No, because it's automated, right?
It's supposed to be automated, but come on. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't be, like, looking down like, why? What am I doing? Good Lord.
Man. No.
The future is weird, man. It is really weird.
One of the things I do want to do this year, it's not a life goal, but probably like a New Year's resolution kind of thing, is get out more. Get out of the like go,
like meet people,
tours. Yeah, well, like do more like interviews on site, because I've got a list of places and people I want to visit.
You want to like turn up the LeVar Burton. You want to be like
LeVar Burton.
Don't take my word for it. Oh, you don't. Oh, you didn't have it.
No.
Reading Rainbow. He played Geordie LaForge on Star Trek, Next Generation.
No.
He did this show called Reading Rainbow when I was a kid, where he would do like basically go on tours everywhere, do all these great. It's awesome. They just rebooted it too, so check it out. You could show it to Sagan; he'll love it.
All right, so I'm like that, am I?
You could be. That's what I'm saying. You could go do these tours and stuff.
Yeah,
hire a camera person. Hire. You could buy one of these stupid new drones that follows you around with cameras.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the future, man. It's the future. 3D printers and drones and $5
camera
boards
crews.
And camera crews and Internet of Things and Amazon Prime and robots.
Speaking of which, I'm going right now to go buy my ladder and
fix your AC. Good.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, we will talk to you next week.
I'll be back next week, won't I?
You better be.
What's next week? Is it an interview? Is it a guest show, or is it a...
Should be a guest show, yes.
Okay. Sweet.
All right.
Maybe you should get Steve Sangi, the CEO of Microchip, on to...
Yeah, you should finally email him like you said you would like a year ago.
Yeah. And
I'm sure
get
he
him
would
on to...
talk all about a merger on a podcast.
Before the merger happens. Yeah,
right before. Yeah,
right. Yeah, exactly.
I have no comments about that.
No.
I have no comments about that.
All right.
I have no comments
Cool.
about that.
All right.
I have no comments about that.
All right.
I have no comments
Cool.
about that.
All right.
I have no comments about that.
Fine. Welcome to the Amp Hour. Oh, what am I doing? It's been so long since I've done it. Hang on, let me do that again. Well, I got a mental block. What
How
is
about
my...
I'll start? How
No,
about I'll start?
no,
How about
I
Yeah,
always
no,
start.
It'll be different.
No,
It'll be different. It'll
I
be
always
different.
start. Damn it.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
No. Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.